Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Burney with Uncover Your Radiance Within. And today I'm going to start a series of talks on health and wellness. And the first set of talks that I had put out there really had to do more with overall personal growth, but really personal growth can't really be maximized without your health and wellness. And so I'd like to start with really some tips for becoming healthier, a healthier version of you, because that will help give you the confidence, the energy that it takes to look at other areas of your life that you might be wanting to try something new in or to challenge yourself in. So, really, the first challenge I think is that's important is to challenge yourself, your personal self. You have the most control over you and yourself. And today's topic is to get moving. And we're going to talk about physical activity and the importance of physical activity. Now, my journey towards becoming a health and life coach was inspired definitely by some health issues. I had some digestive issues that I wasn't quite getting the answers from the doctors that I thought I should. I didn't want to take Linzess because they thought it was irritable bowel. Like I wanted something more than that, like to look deeper into that. What is causing this to happen? I'd mentioned before my mom's struggle and her passing away of Alzheimer's. And I reached that point after her death of like, wow, what can I do to delay the onset or to prevent an onset of Alzheimer's? And I wasn't quite happy when my doctor said, do crossword puzzles. So I started to do my own research. I started to be more passionate about overall health, and probably my fitness journey really took off really solidly after her passing. But also during COVID, I was really disappointed that there wasn't more of a focus from the higher powers on becoming healthier. So there was so much fear about this disease, and we knew some of the um, underlying issues that contributed to more severe cases, like obesity, like diabetes, like heart disease. But no one really talked about, okay, during this time, how about we all focus as a nation, as a society, on becoming healthier? We focused on the fear, we focused on, vaccinations and what drugs can treat this, instead of focusing on what can we do as a society, as individuals, to become healthier, to reduce any kind of risk that may be associated with contracting a disease like COVID. And that's just one example. So I was really disappointed in the lack of focus. In fact, my son still is frustrated because he was in Ohio and gyms were open, and he came back here from college and gyms were closed, and that whole idea. But anyways, so that kind of gave me some motivation to go into this field, into health and wellness, personal growth overall. And I was athletic when I was younger. I played sports. I dabbled in some sports throughout my adult years, nothing too serious. But I think I really got more serious again after having kids. And after having kids, of course, with my firstborn, I was up to 185 pounds before he was born. So I did have some weight to lose. And I will talk about that mindset too a little bit, that it isn't about losing weight. Now that I know, now at this point in my life, it's not about losing weight, why exercise is so important. But I've done Beachbody. I've done other videos, like actual CDs, like they used to come, or DVDs, what they were. So I did DVDs at one point in my life. I did Beachbody, like streaming, which is all great. And a lot of it was just done from home. And now I do go to a gym, and I go 5 days a week. And I do feel like I'm probably in the best shape of my life, even better shape than I was when I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. So improving your fitness, your wellness in terms of movement and physical activity can happen at any age. And I've seen some examples of amazing things that women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s can do in terms of their physical stature and their musculature and just getting in shape. So this, for all of you out there, it's not too late, not too late at all. But the big thing is to find your why. So really, for anything you want to do, you have to really have a good why behind it. And I will say that losing weight for most of us, many of us, may not be that big enough reason, that big enough why that keeps you motivated, that will turn this into a lifelong habit. Because I will kind of contend to say that I don't feel that physical activity, exercise, really is the biggest contributor to losing weight. It definitely helps. It helps in terms of, as you build muscle, you burn more fat, things like that, and that calorie deficit. But I do say that losing weight truly is more about your diet and your nutrition. And we'll talk about some of that in some upcoming talks. But for physical activity, finding your why And if it is about losing weight, great, but it should be about more than that. I know I'm going to try to convince you that it should be about more than that. Um, there are a lot of studies out about physical activity. There's some things that just came out in 2023 about how physical activity, in terms of longevity and how many minutes are necessary for, to maximize your longevity. There was a study that came out earlier this year that said 6 minutes of vigorous activity increases a brain chemical that reduces Alzheimer's risk. Like, there's a lot of information about physical activity in the news. And I was going to show this on the screen, but you can look those things up yourself. But in terms of physical activity, what is recommended? There is an actual recommendation for physical activity that I wasn't even aware of until about a couple months ago. There's a recommendation of 150 minutes of moderate physical activity per week, and this is agreed upon by the CDC, and even I think the WHO, the World Health Organization, and the Mayo Clinic posts this, some reputable sources, that this is what's recommended is 150 minutes of moderate or 75 minutes of vigorous activity is recommended for all adults. So this is for adults. So moderate would include brisk walking. So that does not include the walks I take with my dog. I would not consider those to be brisk walking. It could be biking. Vigorous would be running and swimming, and I would think probably shoveling snow, certain yard activities. Lawn mowing was in the moderate category. So 150 minutes of moderate activity, which is like 20 something minutes a day. But beyond that, not only is there this cardio, this aerobic activity recommendation, there is a recommendation for strength training, to strength train all parts of your body at least twice a week. That would mean doing some strength training exercise for your lower body, your legs twice a week, to do your upper body, your arms twice a week. So not just to say I did arms one day and legs one day and I did it twice in a week, but to do each part of your body twice a week. So that I knew the benefits. I've learned to know the benefits of strength training. I used to at one point think, oh, I love yoga. I'm going to do yoga and get to be where I want to be and have the strength that I want. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And runners can sometimes get frustrated. Like, I run all these miles and I'm just still not where I want to be. And it's really a combination of all of that strength training with the aerobic activity, with some stretching and to keep that flexibility is really what's important. So again, 150 minutes of moderate activity, aerobic activity, along with strength training all your muscle groups twice a week. And over 80% of Americans do not meet these minimum requirements. And the newest study that came out, of course, said that even going above and beyond those numbers is really what's most beneficial for longevity and disease prevention. So I want you to, self-reflect, like, where are you in terms of your physical activity? And not to overwhelm you or not to make you give up, because I really believe in progress over perfection. Like, anytime you can improve yourself from where you were yesterday, that's an important step. And to keep taking those steps. If you can have that mentality of that, I'm going to be better than yesterday, I'm going to be better than the day before, and keep moving forward. That's kind of what I did. That I built myself up to becoming definitely more, a more intense in terms of physical activity and fitness. But kind of think about where you are, and the benefits are, there's so many benefits, and you can look up the benefits, because there definitely are benefits in terms of muscle, and muscle is important. And for women, the more muscle that you have going into older age, the better your bones are. So that muscle production does help protect bones, and it helps with your preventing osteoporosis and bone loss, so bone density loss. So that muscle, and the muscle helps to sculpt you and give you a different shape. So muscle is important. But even keeping your flexibility, being flexible, having your range of motion. Those are some physical benefits of exercise. But as we know, or as you can find out, you can definitely look into this, there are benefits mentally, emotionally. That one way to change your mood is to get moving. And that's something that Tony Robbins says that I always remember. Like, if you want to change your state, then get up and move. And when we're struggling, when we're in a bad place, when we're down, when we're not, just struggling, get up and move, like do something physical. And it can be such a game changer in terms of how you feel. And I think it's a message we can pass on to our kids that when you're just not feeling great, you're down, get up and move. That will help change your state. And it was a Beachbody coach, Shailene, I think her name was Charlene. And she said, and I totally believe this is something that's stuck in my head and I think about it often, that you always feel better after you get moving. You always feel better after completing a workout or an exercise. So all those times when you're dragging, when you're not feeling like, oh, I'm just tired, I am, don't feel good, I have a headache, unless you're severely sick, unless you're truly sick or truly hurt. But if you're just feeling blah, I challenge you to get up and move, like get up and go do something. And you will almost 100% feel better after you did than when you started. It's just that getting up and doing it. So benefits. So there are benefits in terms of sleep. So exercise can benefit your sleep. It will help you sleep better. Exercise can help cardiovascularly. It can help prevent cardiovascular disease. It can help lower blood pressure. Exercise can help lower blood sugar levels. There's all kinds of benefits to exercise. Exercise will help with cognitive function, meaning it is good for the brain. There are studies out there, like you can look any of this up. There are so many benefits to exercise to get moving. And I know that the minimum, recommendations may seem like a lot, but where can you start? So really think about where can you start? And for all my northern friends, everybody up here in the north, like it's a struggle. It's a struggle. And that's part of the beef I have with living up here is that it's not a healthy place for many, many, many months of the year. And, it's great for our summers are beautiful, but for many months of the year, we can't rely on going for a walk. We can't even rely on shoveling snow as a regular exercise in the winter because you get, a big blast and then we have nothing. So you can't rely on that to be your exercise. So think about how can you regularly get some cardiovascular and some strength training into your life? Like I said, you can't rely on the weather. There are lots of programs and lots of things available like on YouTube. So if you want to just start with looking up some videos, there are videos for women, there are videos for older women, there are videos for kids. Like there's plenty of videos on YouTube if you want to start there. And then we'll do some strength training and body strength training. You can use your body for strength training. You don't have to have a physical set of weights. You can do cardio in your house. Like it is possible. I did it for years in my basement. It is possible. My sister has done workouts in her apartment in New York City for years. It is possible. Yes, she does run too, but it is possible to get in these, workouts or exercise inside. And again, for us Northerners, yes, you can join a gym, but it is possible to do inside in your world, in your house, in your basement, somewhere in your house. But again, progress over perfection. So just think about where you can start. Where can you start moving more, even when you don't feel like it? What can you do? Whether it is just doing some squats or some basic lifts or something, like where can you start? If you need some suggestions, please reach out. I'd love to help you with that. Beachbody was a subscription. It is a pretty reasonable subscription that has a whole realm of all kinds of different workouts, all kinds of different intensity, even dance workouts. If dancing is fun to you, you can get those 20 plus minutes in per day of your moderate exercise. And it might even turn vigorous exercise by dancing. So find something that's fun for you, find something that you enjoy doing. And I want you to kind of reframe in closing, to reframe where you might feel about exercise or physical activity. I know sometimes people believe that they're not coordinated or they're not athletic. But movement doesn't have to be that way. Like it doesn't take tons of coordination to lift and curl weights. It doesn't take a lot of coordination to walk vigorously. So don't get intimidated that you're not athletic, you can't work out. Kind of shift that mindset. Also shift that mindset that this isn't punishment. Working out is not a punishment. It's not a punishment like, oh, I ate pizza today, I need to go work out, or I had ice cream, so now I need to work out. No, that's not why we need to work out. It's not a punishment. It's a gift. If you are able to get up and move your body, it is truly a gift that, as people age, I think you probably would look back and appreciate the body you had. But I think it is possible to maintain some of your flexibility and your mobility into older age by keeping it going. But you have to get started now. It's never too late to get started. It's never too early to get started. And again, once you build your body, once you feel more confident about your body, that things that you can do, you'll start to feel more confidence in other areas of your life. So I really encourage you to get moving, to find something that you can do on a regular basis. Try to, make this a part of your life, because you are worth it, because you deserve this, because this is worthwhile time spent for you and your longevity and your overall wellness. So get moving. This is Michelle Burney with Uncovering Your Radiance Within. And again, one of the big keys to being more radiant is to get moving.